sécuritaire et souverain. Et ça prend un militaire capable de nous défendre et de protéger nos alliances et notre continent. Ça prend un militaire fort afin de remplir nos responsabilités face à nos alliés. Évidemment, ça a des implications économiques aussi. Si on veut des relations commerciales à l'étranger, il faut un militaire qui est capable de faire notre juste part et de rebâtir la confiance de nos alliés envers les capacités militaires de notre pays. Nos troupes ont besoin de plus d'équipements, de support, de logements et j'en passe. Nous avons besoin d'une plus grande présence dans le Grand Nord afin de protéger notre souveraineté. Ça prend au moins mais probablement 2 bases militaires dans l'Arctique. Ça prend aussi 4 et non pas 2 brise-glaces massives afin de pouvoir garder ouverts nos passages et de renforcer notre souveraineté à l'échelle internationale. Il y a beaucoup d'ouvertures de postes non remplis dans le militaire. Le recrutement est le pire depuis des années, après la décennie des libéraux. Ça va prendre de l'argent pour engager davantage de soldats et de membres de forces armées. Donc, nous sommes en accord avec une augmentation massive dans le budget pour le militaire. Nous voulons que cet argent-là soit utilisé pour l'équipement et pour les troupes et non pas pour la bureaucratie ni le gaspillage sur des mauvais contrats ou l'incompétence dans l'achat et la construction de l'équipement. Évidemment, nous voulons que ça arrive le plus tôt que possible. C'est pour ça que nous appuyons l'argent additionnel que propose le gouvernement. Et nous voulons que le gouvernement introduise un budget avant le Fête du Canada afin de montrer comment ça va être intégré dans le plan financier de notre pays. Nous sommes là pour le militaire. Les conservateurs veulent un militaire plus fort, des soldats mieux équipés et mieux payés. Logements bâtis pour que ce soit abordable pour les gens, les courageux soldats qui protègent notre pays. En tout ça, il faut un plan financier. Donc, nous revendiquons encore que le gouvernement introduit à la Chambre des communes un budget d'ici le Fête du Canada. Le gouvernement prétend dépenser 2 % du PIB sur la défense nationale pour cette année, mais presque un trimestre de cette année est déjà passé et on n'a pas de budget pour savoir combien sera dépensé ni combien sera notre déficit. Nous voulons aussi que le gouvernement coupe dans la bureaucratie des consultants, l'aide à l'étranger, le BS corporatif afin de réduire le déficit et d'éviter d'ajouter au fardeau sur le dos des contribuables et des consommateurs. Le gouvernement a causé une inflation exorbitante pour la nourriture, pour le logement. Et la seule façon de le renverser, c'est d'éliminer les déficits des libéraux. Comment est-ce qu'on va pouvoir dépenser plus sur le militaire tout en réduisant le coût du gouvernement? Il faut trouver les économies ailleurs. Il y a un gouvernement qui est exorbitant, qui est morbidement obèse, qu'il faut couper, et ça va prendre un budget avec une nouvelle discipline qu'on va imposer. C'est ça que nous revendiquons. Encore, c'est la protection de notre pays, le respect pour nos soldats et pour nos contribuables en même temps que nous cherchons. Et nous, les conservateurs, allons là pour travailler avec tous les autres partis afin d'accomplir ces objectifs. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, everyone. Conservatives support rebuilding our military. After another lost decade of liberal cuts, mismanagement, and back office bureaucracy, of boondoggles, and wasted money on bungled projects, our military has never been weaker. Now more than ever, we need a strong military that will reassert our sovereignty in the north, take back control of our Arctic waters. We need at least 1, but probably 2 Arctic bases. We need fighter jets, Poseidon aircraft. We need 4 and not 2 icebreakers to bust up the ice and reassert that we are properly the ones that lay claim over our Arctic waters. We also need to fill the massive number of vacancies that have built up in our military after the last decade by increasing the dollars available to recruit and focusing the military on a warrior culture that actually inspires people to want to join again. All of this is going to take money, and that's why we support getting back to the 2% target as soon as possible. And we will support additional money for our military. That's why we're calling on the government to bring in a budget, because all of this will require a budget that not only puts this money forward, clearly identifies where it comes from, but cuts waste in bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, corporate welfare, and other areas, so that the necessary increase in the military does not come as an inflationary burden on the backs of our Canadian taxpayers, who've been suffering for far too long. As always, we stand ready to work with all parties to put Canada first, to defend our country, and most important of all, to honor the brave men and women in uniform, the soldiers, sailors, and airmen who make up our forces and protect our sovereignty. We will always put them first, and we will work with anybody in any party to make that happen. Thank you very much.
You're saying you support this. Will you be supporting the supplementary estimates that include this $9 billion extra dollars?
Well, we have to see the supplementary estimates. What we've seen is the mains. Sorry?
I believe they were tabled.
Oh, they were tabled this morning. Okay, I haven't seen them yet. So that part is true. So we were both right. I'll have to take a look at the subs and see what's in there. And was there anything else in there, or is it just this?
There's definitely other things in it, I'm sure.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to parse through beyond the...
We're going to have to go to the library, the two of us, and go through the subs, I guess, eh?
On another topic then, pipelines. I'm wondering, what would you do if there's a situation where Alberta and BC, for example, are butting heads about a project? Do you think, like Mark Carney, there needs to be consensus to go forward with these big nation-building projects?
No, we've got to get it done. We need a pipe. At the end of the day, if you wait till everybody agrees on everything, nothing will happen. You're never going to get everybody to agree on every single project. And bottom line is we're giving 90% of our oil and 100% of our gas to the Americans at enormous price discounts. This is costing us tens of billions of dollars every single year, to the exclusive benefit of American refineries and commodity traders who are able to take our product, bid up the price by $15 and sell it on the world stage, and do that literally about 1 billion times a year. And that is insane. So we can't wait any longer. We have to get things done, and it's going to take some backbone. And so we as Conservatives believe in pushing ahead with pipelines, and the shortest route is to the Pacific. Any other route is going to be even harder politically and physically. So we need a pipeline to the Pacific, and if the Prime Minister says he's going to wait till everyone agrees, then nothing will get done, which is what has been happening for the last decade.
To go back to defense spending.
We'll go to Stephanie, and then we'll go French.
Okay, yeah. Just to go back to defense spending, you talked about the need to get to 2%, but the global conversation now seems to be moving towards 5%. So do you support that, and do you see a realistic way that Canada could get there?
I haven't seen anyone hit 5%. Maybe I'm missing something. Has anyone hit 5% yet?
Yeah.
Who's at 5?
Not yet.
No one.
Yeah, Poland is getting about 4%.
Poland's up to 4, but I haven't seen any country hit 5. I think the Americans are 3.6 right now?
Yeah, 3.4.
3.4. This is my human encyclopedia here. What I also think we need to remember is let's focus on what we get done with the money we spend. It shouldn't simply be a question of the dollar figure. If the government has another 10 big boondoggles like they did on the F-35 by canceling and then rebuying it, they would be able to get up to 3 or 4% without increasing any of our capabilities. I want us to focus on our capabilities. Yes, we'll hit the 2%, and then we can discuss how much higher to go after that. But the focus of NATO and our country has to be what extra defense capabilities are we able to add, and how can we be the strongest possible military with the most affordable price tag to the taxpayer at the same time.
Pour atteindre le 2%,
Oui.
il y a 9 milliards de dollars de nouvelles dépenses, mais 14 milliards de dépenses qui existent déjà, qu'on prend ailleurs, puis là, tout d'un coup, ça va être affecté
Oui.
à notre montant à l'OTAN. J'aimerais savoir ce que vous pensez de ça. Est-ce que vous pensez que c'est un budget
Comptabilité,
créatif ou pas, ou au contraire, d'autres pays le font? Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
Le premier ministre a dit que ce n'est pas la comptabilité créative. Mon français est correct? Il a dit que ce n'est pas la comptabilité créative. Moi, j'ai hâte de voir des chiffres. J'ai hâte de voir qu'est-ce qui sera compris dans le 2 pour pouvoir augmenter le pourcentage reconnu. Évidemment, on doit suivre des règles, mais en même temps, si on fait des dépenses qui sont réellement liées à la sécurité internationale et nationale, ça devrait être compris dans le 2 So, the question was about reprofiling. Do you have any comments on that? The reprofiling of existing expenses.
Sure. So we know that since 2017 that there's been a complete recalculation and creative accounting, I call it, that's been taking place, but it's allowed under NATO rules and has been for the last several years, which allows things like veterans pensions, some government of Canada, Global Affairs Canada, monies that deal with conflict resolution to be added into the defense numbers. We don't know exactly what those numbers are, though, and that's why we're seeing a bit of a delta here between what's in the new announcement, what's actually in the supplemental A's, and we know that there is money that's going to be coming over from Coast Guard because now Coast Guard is going to be absorbed in as well. However, NATO's still going to be watching whether or not Coast Guard remains a civilian organization the way it is. They still have their research to do. They still have their environmental ships as well as ice-breaking capabilities to make sure the St. Lawrence Seaway and elsewhere is maintained for commercial traffic. But at the end of the day, to be fully counted in for defense spending, they actually have to bring some security protocols to the table, and that means that ships may need to be armed up. That means that there has to be paramilitary personnel on board, not just civilians. And so these are the things that the Coast Guard is going to have to address, and we need to take a look at to see how it's going to affect their overall operations, and ultimately how those reprofiled dollars, which include now veterans' pensions, to also, we're talking about 20% of the NATO number that's reported is made up of other departments, not national defense. And actually, when you start comparing apples to apples, what Liberals spent last year compared to what we spend is about the same.
Le ministre Champagne a évoqué ce matin un Buy Canada Act, M. Poilievre, pour prioriser les achats canadiens dans les contrats publics. Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de la possibilité de ce projet de loi-là?
Ça m'intéresse énormément. Nous devrions protéger notre souveraineté économique et nous devrions pouvoir approvisionner notre gouvernement avec les produits faits ici au Canada. Donc, pour repatrier la production ici au Canada, on doit aussi rendre la vie plus abordable pour les entreprises qui produisent ces choses-là. Maintenant, la présence de taxes, de paperasse, des obstacles pour fonctionner comme entreprise ici au Canada nous empêche de fournir des services et des produits ici au Canada. C'est l'une des raisons pour lesquelles nous sommes aussi dépendants sur les autres économies, surtout les États-Unis.
J'aimerais aussi clarifier.
All right. So we believe in buying Canadian. We want to be a more sovereign and independent country, less reliant on the Americans and other countries. But we have to make this a country where you can make things again. Right now, there's so much bureaucracy, so many delays to get permits. There's such high taxes on our investors and workers that often they can't compete with foreign suppliers, and that's why we've become so hopelessly dependent for so much of our existence on the rest of the world. But we believe in unlocking the free enterprise system with low taxes, the fastest permits in the developed world, so that we can actually make stuff here in Canada and be self-reliant for the future. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.